booties for black girl nerds.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much for taking time to speak with me today. I very much appreciate it. Hit record, Joe. I'll start with you. I feel like this is one of the slightly more darker and more damaged roles that you've taken on. Because this is based on a short story, The Jealousy Man, how do you feel that you put your own spin on your character, Nick?
Uh, well, the character in this movie is actually really different than the short story. In the short story, he's like I don't know, like a 60-year-old Greek man or something. So that that's a bit of a departure for me. I'm getting old, but not that old. And I do get to speak some Greek in the movie, but I'm not a Greek man, and it's an American guy. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's funny you saw this as darker. You're right. The character has some darkness to him, but ultimately this is like a fun murder mystery. This is not a dark movie. This is not a hard watch. This is a date night on the couch. Let's enjoy the beautiful Cretan island setting and enjoy a murder mystery.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. I do think it's perfect timing for it because this is kind of like getting into the weather of kind of hanging out and watching movies. Miss
Mhm.
Shailene, you're truly killing it in your career right now. I just spoke with you last month for Three Women and as Penelope now, so you're giving us just one great performance after another. Now, I personally heard about this movie back in like April, and I was wondering if the beautiful setting, or April of last year, I was wondering if the beautiful setting of Greece kind of prolonged the filming because it was so enjoyable. Like, is that maybe why it took a little bit longer for the release?
I love that. I love the idea of a bunch of people going to work and being like, you know what, let's do it for another 2 weeks. Let's just we wrapped this film the day before the strike started, I believe, the actors strike. So it was just timing wise, it was very I feel so lucky thinking back to go, man, we got to make this movie in Greece right before this, big change in our industry happened. And uh we were there for 3 months. I want to
Yeah,
say we
yeah.
were there for a while, and it was so special. I'd never been to Greece before, and we stayed on Crete for the first couple months, and we were living in this small village. And when we first got there, it wasn't tourist season, and it was so wonderful to get to know the locals and just kind of be immersed in real Greek culture and Greek life before the swing of and the height of summer hit. That was one of my favorite memories.
I always want to go to Greece, so this movie just made it even more of something on my bucket list. This question is for both of you guys. From 8 years ago, when you guys worked on Snowden together, to now, can you tell me one thing you feel that you've seen in the other person that's grown in their acting abilities?
Oh, wow. I mean, when we met and did Snowden together, Shay wouldn't have been right yet, I don't think, to play a this kind of femme fatale that she tackles in this movie. It takes, I think, someone with a bit more experience in their life, and uh, a femme fatale has a I don't know, a gravity that, look, you had that then as a younger woman, but now I think uh like as a grown person, as an adult, you like really nailed that femme fatale mixture of darkness and sensuality and power and vulnerability. And then what I really love about her performance, because her character is my favorite in the movie, is the femme fatale is an archetype that's existed in Hollywood movies really since the beginning of Hollywood. And generally, they're a little bit or a lot objectified. They're through the male gaze, and they're not always whole humans. And she managed to render what's compelling and entertaining about that femme fatale archetype, but then make her a whole human being and and reveal what's going on underneath the surface, this beautiful femme fatale surface. And uh, I just I find it really, really fun, but also heartbreaking to watch her performance in this.
That's such a beautiful description. I'm sure that must feel so nice to hear, Shailene.
Is, especially because I just respect you and what you do and what you create. For me, watching Joe do this was so fun because I think it's really hard to play a character. I oftentimes when I see someone playing a character or an archetype of something, if it is like the whodunit kind of film, or sometimes it can feel so exaggerated that I don't relate to the human anymore. I don't relate to the story. And I really like the same way I get that you just described Penelope's sort of arc and the heartbreak underneath underneath all of the actions that she's doing. That's how I felt about Bali, like struggling with addiction and struggling with the pain of what he's trying to run from and also run towards from his life in New York. And yet also like, you're so funny, Joe. This is one of my, I think I just want to like, I'm like, you're one of the funniest actors that I've known. And you're so good in this role because you keep it light and not that deep, but with a gravity of pain underneath it all and a searching and a curiosity and the comedy. Like, I think that's one of the things about this movie that people are going to be so happy to see. And it's one of my favorite things about it is watching these moments of Bali just sort of reacting to the world around him in the way that he does, and sort of this twilight of being being a detective and also being a little bit of an alcoholic and going through his life and trying to figure it out. I really I adored it, and it was really, I learned a lot actually working with you on this and how you approach this genre and certain things. And because Joe's a brilliant writer and director, like I think he has a different way of seeing a set than many other actors that I've worked with. And so I always walk away feeling like, oh, I just learned, I would have never thought of that tone for this moment, or I would have never thought of that rhythm for this interaction. And it was special in that way too, just because I'm always hungry to learn something new.
I've been bragging about this movie since I saw it. You guys did great. I'm getting the wrap. I very much appreciate your time. I can't wait to see this again with other people. So you guys have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Fun, guys. You too.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl